Something big is coming. Whoa. Something big is coming. You're not going to believe this. I'm actually very, very excited. Next dropped this thing while we were chatting. Young Rock is going to be a new comedy show that starts February 16th on NBC. I'm guessing it's going to be The Rock when he was younger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it features Dwayne Johnson and Keenan Thompson. I'm like, wait, Keenan, what? I'm actually kind of like, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's based on the young on the Rock. Young Dwayne is introduced in Hawaii in 1982 before wrestling had turned into cash machine that it became. Still, the wrestler is working about his gimmick and all that stuff. So this looks very interesting. The way it looks like how it's gonna be when him being younger as a child. I'm actually very interested. Is The Rock gonna be the dad?
Okay, so I'm reading a quick article while we're talking here, and it says that the young Rock might have worked better as a movie as opposed to what essentially Dwayne Johnson, the Wonder Years edition. The wrinkle that helps tease the show out is that it touches on three separate formative periods, with with Johnson played by different young actors at age 10. 15 as he begins college football days in Miami and is told by a future version of the wrestler turned actor mounting a 2032 presidential run. So it sounds pretty funny. One thing that I'm excited about is that I do believe that he has a life, or that he's lived a life, or that he's been connected to so many different influential people throughout his life that there's a story to be told in all different directions, from his dad to people that were around him as kids to even where his life has gone now. And I mean, if you told me, in the next year or the next 5 years that The Rock was running for president, I think he would have a better chance than Kanye West. That's all I'm going to say.
You're Kanye. You just want Kanye to run. So I think, okay, so The Rock has a very, very deep history with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He's had family members in the wrestling world. He still has family members right now in the wrestling world. Some of them are venturing out within movies also, along with, with him, how he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the light now for quite some time, and he's been getting better and better and better. I'll be very blunt. When he was first acting, I'm just like, I don't know if I believe. Do you smell? Like, I'm like, come on. It sounded very wrestling gimmick-ish, but they made that work at that time for those movies.
Right.
And as he started to evolve,
yeah,
so did his characters 100%. And his acting. And like, okay, if you haven't seen like the natural comedic side of him, Google The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That's it. Just Google those two.
I've seen some interviews with him on Saturday Night Live, and you know how you have to do like the whole webcam thing now, and he's not actually at Saturday Night Live. I seen his mom troll the whole thing, just show up playing music in the background and singing. Like, it just seems like a very fun lifestyle that he has. And I have to agree with everything you just said. The Rock has been a character where when he starts to do something, you're not completely sold, but he doesn't give a shit. He's just like, I'm going to do this until I'm good at it, and you're going to like me. And he's been like that with every single role that he's done through. And I mean, yeah, there's been some key moments in his career that's kind of changed people's opinion about him. If we want to talk about Ballers, you want to talk about a couple different key essential moments that he had to go through to get to that next step. But The Rock has never been a quitter. He's never been a quitter. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out his last business decision with the XFL. But who knows? He's made everything else that he's done pretty successful. So we'll see what happens. But Yeah, I'm super excited. I like him as a person, and I think that's when he really started to become famous, when he found out who he is, and people started looking at Dwayne Johnson instead of The Rock.
Right.
That to me, that was a crucial point, right? Yeah, I saw him on certain things and I was like, oh, it's The Rock, it's The Rock, it's The Rock. And now if I reference him, that's Dwayne Johnson. It's not The Rock anymore. He found himself and he made a killing selling himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, if you haven't seen Jumanji 2
Oh, I love that movie.
with The Rock and Kevin Hart and everybody else that's in there, like I like Jumanji 1 with The Rock, I was like, wow, he's come a long way in his acting career. Like that movie, I was like, this is good. I've already seen him in some comedy stuff and some like a mix things, but Jumanji, the first one, I was like, this is actually pretty good. But Jumanji 2, when he pretends he's one of the old men and he gives himself a lisp, he's a Spencer. I was like, I couldn't stop laughing because I'm just like, how did these guys all get together and film? I'm like, they must have been laughing the entire time recording this, like filming this, because it was so out of their comfort zone and they made it so realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he played Danny DeVito in he played Danny DeVito like as the old man, as the character, and then later on he played as the other kid and everything. He's like, oh yeah,
Wasn't
look,
there a moment when he had to play a chick too?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it kept jumping around.
And I caught it. You call it Jumanji 2 and not the next level. I get it. I get it. It's all right.
I think he did. I think he's done a great job. I think The Rock is going to continue doing a great job. I'm very excited to see this one. The young Rock, young Rock. It's almost like young Sheldon, young Rock. I don't know. I think it's going to be great. I think it's cool.